Welcome everybody, my name is Marcus and today we're going to be talking about the movie The Little Things, which actually just came out on HBO Max and in theaters. It's the second movie where they're doing that simultaneous release with HBO Max streaming and in movie theaters, so I was super excited for it. John Lee Hancock directed it, most famous for The Blind Side. Then you have Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, Jared Leto, great cast, so I was definitely intrigued by it. The synopsis is quite simply two police officers tracking down a serial killer. Okay, cool. I didn't have many expectations for it. I chose not to watch too many trailers just so I can go in with an open mind to kind of see how it went. Immediately, I got vibes from like David Fincher's Seven and then True Detective. It takes place in the 90s, so it kind of has like that old school vibe, and they did a really good job of creating that environment, which I liked. I thought it added a certain element of suspense, and the acting was great. So I really honed in on the conversations and everything. I knew right away, if you cast, a supposed serial killer or whatever with a big name actor, Jared Leto, you immediately know this is going to be a different type of movie. It's not going to be, oh, well, who's the killer? Because as soon as you see Jared Leto, you're going to be like, all right, he's probably the killer or whatever. It's not that kind of movie. And so they really took a different take on this, but it just didn't pay off. I feel like whoever made this movie, if you were to say a summary of it, is basically you take Seven, you take out all the scary parts, and then you have the little things. I guess the little things are left over. So, it didn't really do it for me. I will say the actors did a really good job. It was, Denzel's always Denzel. Jared Leto did an amazing job playing a super creepy, hateable character that you wanted bad things to happen to him. And then you have Rami Malek. It was cool to see him in more of a confident role, a stronger character. The last time I saw him, was either in Mr. Robot or you saw him in Bohemian Rhapsody. So this was a much different role for him. So it was cool. I really liked it. And then seeing Rami Malek and Denzel on screen together, they had pretty good chemistry. I liked it. They had a good dynamic with everything, and it made it interesting to see their contrasting personalities. Aside from the acting though, I didn't like the plot too much. It was honestly kind of a boring movie. It was a little slow for me. I did like the ending and kind of the twist in it, but it didn't really pay off the way I think it wanted to. I think it was too slow moving and it took too long for the plot points to develop. So there wasn't much suspense. And the fact, like I said, you already kind of suspect this person. So throughout the whole movie, it's not really a surprise when you see him or he stands out too much. And it was just, there was no real mystery to it. So I think it was a little boring overall. All right, so once again, this is your spoiler warning. If you guys have not seen the movie, you definitely want to shut this off, go watch the movie, come back. I am going to get into kind of the details and the ending of it. So once again, this is your final warning, spoilers. All right, so what did you guys think of that ending? Me personally, I thought it actually was a really good ending. The movie was pretty slow, but I did like the ending. I really liked the take on, Denzel's character, Joe, kind of looking out for Jim, having basically just killed a man. He didn't skip a beat. He knew what it was like to have that guilt of, murdering someone that may not have deserved it. I kind of feel like Albert really was not the killer. Looking at his apartment, he didn't have the evidence that he was a killer. I think he was just a really creepy guy that we all wanted to be the killer, including Jim and Joe. They both really wanted him to be the killer, and they basically made him into that. And I feel like, Albert pushed Jim to the end and, took a shovel to the face. But, there was no evidence of the body. They never found the body of that girl. So, I really don't think that he was the killer. I think he was just toying with them. And another reason that I don't think he was the killer, and I think that it was more of a cover-up, is, Joe ends up sending the red beret over, but it was fake, He sent it to really just give Jim a peace of mind, and it clearly did its job, And I think it was ironic where it says no angels, you got to look out for yourself, Jim is looking out for Joe, and I like that part. That part was pretty cool, and the reveal of seeing that it wasn't actually hers, because at first we went through that whole roller coaster of emotions. Like, oh yeah, it was, he found it. And then you realize, oh no, he didn't find it. He's just pretending and trying to make Jim feel better. But I appreciate it. I think Joe knows what Jim would have went through having found out that maybe he killed the wrong man, and that guilt. But the problem with that is, if the FBI is coming and they're going to start searching for this killer and he really is out there, they're going to find him. And then what's going to happen? I feel like, that's even worse. So it was kind of just putting a Band-Aid on, but I really liked the kind of dark, twisted ending in that sense. It was the ending that we wanted, because we wanted Jared Leto's character Albert to be the killer, but in the back of our heads, it didn't make us feel too good, because we kind of know, I don't think he was the killer, but it resolved itself. And I also think the reveal, because we were always wondering what's going on with Joe's character. Why is he coming to town? Why is no one happy to see him? And then you realize he has such a dark secret, and you're like, oh my God, like he killed that girl. And that made my stomach drop. I was like, oh, that makes sense why he acts the way he is. He's obsessed about it, because imagine living with that guilt. And he didn't want Jim to go through that. So I appreciate that. I really did like that aspect of it. And that's what made the movie pretty interesting. I just wish this movie had been a little bit faster paced. The themes are so similar to Seven in that sense. It's like the villain is right in front of you. The villain is us. It's within us. And, Denzel is kind of a bad guy if you look at it, because he's kind of manipulating Jim to do his bidding in that sense. And I think, Joe kind of got his piece because he felt like he kind of helped out, but in reality, did he? I don't think so. But all in all, I think it was an okay movie. I think it was a little slower than I wanted. There wasn't enough excitement throughout the movie. The actors did a really good job, but it was just so slow rolling. And the ending, while interesting, just wasn't enough for me. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the ending. Maybe you have a different theory about it. I've heard some crazy theories that, like Denzel did the whole thing, but that's a little bit wild in that sense, that he was so desperate to have a killer that he made a killer. He made it himself and just used Jared Leto's character as a scapegoat. I don't know. It's a fun theory. I don't think it's that crazy. I think, it was a little bit more grounded than that. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please comment below. All right, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe. This really helps me out so I can keep making great content for you guys. If you guys have any requests, suggestions, please comment below. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.